Okay, Boyer-Savart's law, what it is defining in the question paper, it is very important. Boyer-Savart's law only it will be asking for 6 marks, or else in some question paper what they ask, just to state the Boyer-Savart's law and Ampere's law for 4 marks. Okay, means the both the topics are very important. Minimum 4 to 6 marks you can get from this both topics. Okay, what it is stating for us, what it is giving the information for us, it states that the Biot-Savart's law states that the differential magnetic field intensity, that is DH, the magnetic field intensity is represented with the letter H, electric field intensity with E, right, produced at a point, the magnetic field what it is going to be producing at a point P. Here the point P is shown in figure, that is DH is by the differential current element I into DL. Here the what's the current flowing is of I, and what is the differential element, that is DL. Okay, across this how much the current it will be moving at the point P. Observe here the arrow it is indicating for us in that direction. The differential current element I into DL is proportional to the, what it is proportional to the product of I into DL and I into DL and sine of the angle alpha between the element and the line joining of the P. Observe here this line joining and along with the P, the angle what it is going to be making, that is taken as alpha, that is sine alpha between the element and the line joining P to the element, and is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between P and the element. Means how much the distance is there, that square. It is almost similar to what we learnt about our Coulomb's law only. But there will be going for point charges. Here how much the current is there, electric field, magnetic field is going to be generating based on the current, right? You should remember that. If you able to remember the concept, then equations you can understand easily. Therefore, based on the statement, what we can write in the equation format, that is DH is going to be proportional to I into DL into sine alpha divided by R square. Or else, instead of proportionality, a proportional constant is taken, that is K into I DL sine alpha divided by R square, where K is the proportionality constant, where in all the cases we will be taking of that. Then in SI units, K in this case the value is going to be 1 divided by 4 pi. In the same way, in the Coulomb's law also same pi, right? 1 by 4 pi. Therefore, if I substitute 1 by 4 pi in the equation, then I will be getting as DH is going to be I into DL sine alpha divided by 4 pi R square. Then from the definition of the cross product, what is cross product is telling for us, AB sine theta of angle between of that AB into AN. Here I wrote. It is easy to notice that based on this, here what I can write, it is if I am going to represent the equation in terms of a vector product, cross product, then what is the equation will be changing? Observe here DH is going to be equals to, in terms of a vector, observe here it is in a written in a fully bold letter. Compare with the both. You can write in a bold letter or else writing as DH with the arrow. This indicates in a vector form. That is equals to I DI, observe here, DI into AR divided by 4 pi R square. That is equals to I into DI into, instead of AR, here it is taken as what is the distance, that is R divided by 4 pi R cube. We already defined what is our AN, that is our in the same case what we taken in the previously, the same thing here it is taken. Here else, here it is given where R is going to be equals to magnitude of R, AR is going to be R divided by R. For that reason here R divided by R cube we will be getting off. And DI are shown in figure 1. This is same thing. What it is taken. This is di. Differential length. Now it is differential current. Thus, the direction of dH can be determined by the right hand thumb rule. This is the rule what we already taken. The same thing here. Direction, in which direction it is moving, with the right hand thumb pointing in the direction of the current. If I just go through, will be showing in the direction of the current. In our thumb will be representing the direction of the current, and the right hand fingers encircling or enclosing the wire in the direction of DH. What it is showing here, the how it is taken. The fingers, what it is representing, it is in this direction. Then again one RLs we can use by using of a right hand screw rule also to determine the direction of DH, with the screw placed along with the wire and pointed in the direction of the current flow, and the direction of the rotation of the screw in the direction of the DH. What it is taken. This shows the direction of the current what is given, and screwing in this direction will be tightening of any of the element by using of screw in the direction what it's going to be, that is the direction of the DH. Then to represent the direction of the magnetic field intensity, that is H, or current I, by a small circle with a dot or cross sign, depending on whether H or current means magnetic field and intensity or current is out of the page or into the page respectively. What it is telling, observe here just. If it is of dot, what it is taken on the within a circle, then this represents the out of the page, that's H or R is out. Then when it is representing with a cross line, then it is within inning, it's coming or it's going, how it is flowing about our current or else our magnetic field intensity. That's why here it is taken, it is moving inwards. Then just we can have different charge configurations. We can't go with 4.5, just it's the same thing what we'll taken in the Coulomb's law, the same thing. They have different current distributions, line current, surface current and volume currents. We already taken of these equations. Then figure 7.4, we'll go with the figure 7.4 in this case. The first figure, current distribution, charge distribution we come across. Here it is of current distribution in terms of a line current distribution. The figure will be like this. I will be flowing at a differential element. Then here it is of surface current, where it is moving like this, K into ds with respect to the surface. Then with respect to volume, a small volume, within that how much it is going to be flowing, that is volume current. This is in a cable, this is maybe in a sheet, it will be in a wire, right? The same thing here it is taken. Then if we define K as a surface current density, K as the surface current density in amperes per meter, then J as the volume current density. J is volume current density in amperes per meter square. Then the source elements are related as I into di is going to be almost nearly equals to K into ds, that is equals to in the volume J into dV, this equation. Then in terms of distributed current sources, the Biot-Savart's law equation is going to be, for line current it will be changing as H is going to be equals to, in terms of vector, these all equations, okay, you can write as H with a bar. Here it is in terms of bold letter, that's it. Integration of with respect to line, for that reason L I into di into AR divided by 4 pi R square. Then K into for surface current, K into ds with respect to surface into AR divided by 4 pi R square. with respect to the surface current. With respect to volume current, just you have to replace with J into dV. That's it. The remaining will be as it is. Where AR is the unit vector pointing from the differential element of the current to the point of interest, where it is going to be, from which point we are going to be calculating of our magnetic field intensity. That's what it is giving the information, in which direction it's moving, in which way we are going to be finding out. Then, for example, just an example here it is taken. Let us apply this line current to determine the field due to straight current carrying filamentary conductor of finite length AB. In this figure it is given. Just a wire is taken. You can line current means we can assume of a wire also. In this wire, what might be the intensity it's going to be, that we are going to be finding now. With the length it is taken as A to B. That's what here it is taken. Then length AB, we assume that the conductor is along Z axis. Just an assumption that the conductor, what's going to be, maybe if your copper, you can assume also, a conductor is along the Z axis with its upper and lower ends respectively. Then subtending angles, what it is taken, alpha 2 and alpha 1 at P. Observe here, the angle what it is making, it is of, at A it is of alpha 1, at B it is of alpha 2. At the differential element, what it is taking within that, that is di, that is for that a angle is going to be alpha. Then current moving is of I, and which direction we taken, it is in terms of Z direction. Then at P, then the point at which the H, that our magnetic field density is to be determined. Then particular note that this assumption as the formula to be derived will not be applied accordingly. It's just an assumption. In practical way, whatever theory we will be learning, it's not going to be applying a practical. Practically, the values will be changing. Just in assumption way, we take on. That's what they tell. Then the current flows from point A, where alpha is going to be equals to alpha 1, to the point B at alpha is of what value? Now it is of alpha 2. Then if we consider the distribution of dH at P due to element of di at 0, xy we don't have. That for that reason only z term we have. For that reason 0, 0 into of z. Then dH is going to be I into di r divided by 4 pi r cube. The same equation what we taken here. Right? Then, but what is our di is going to be, in which direction it is moving? It is in the z direction. For that reason, instead of di, what I can write here, dz into az, and r is going to be taken as rho into a rho minus of z into az. Therefore, the equation what it is going to be changing, dA into r is going to be changing as rho into dz into a pi. Remember this, di into r is going to be changing as rho into dz into a pi. Based on next, hence the H equation is going to be integration I rho into dz divided by, if you substitute in this equation, then 4 pi rho square plus z square power 3 by 2 into a pi will be getting. Next, let z is going to be taken here as rho into cot and alpha. Then differentiation of that, dz is going to be minus rho cosecant square, cot is then square alpha, then d alpha, then about rho square plus z square power 3 by 2 is going to be rho cube cosecant alpha cube. Then equation, if I substitute this all in equation in 7.11, then I'll be getting as H is going to be minus 1 by 4 pi, because here minus is there. Integration, where is our what is the angle, what is the limit for that? Here it is for alpha 1 to alpha 2. For that reason, alpha 1 to alpha 2, rho square cosecant square alpha d alpha divided by rho cube cosecant cube into alpha. Again, if I solve, I will be getting as I minus I divided by 4 pi rho a pi with integration alpha 1 to alpha 2 sin alpha d alpha we will be lefting and we will be getting. Then RS the equation, if I integrate here, we will be getting as h is going to be I divided by 4 pi rho cos alpha 2 minus cos alpha 1 into a pi. This you have to remember the equation. This is the magnetic field intensity equation of H. Then this expression is generally applicable for the straight filamentary conductor when I am going to be choosing of a straight line only, means a straight conducting element. The conductor need not be lie on z axis. It's not that it should be in a z axis only. Then, but it should be a straight. From the equation, what it is going to be observing, h is always along the unit vector a pi, in which direction it is angle is changing, angle of concentric circular path. Then, irrespective of the length of the wire or a point of interest, here it is not giving any about the length, how much it should be, right? Whatever the length it's going on, the magnetic field will be uniformly distributing throughout the wire. That's what they are telling here. Then as a special case, if I am going to consider, then when the conductor is semi-infinite, it's not fully with respect to P, and the point A is at O, where all coordinates are 0, and at B is at the infinite. From 0 to infinity, then alpha 1 is of 90 degree and alpha 2, we don't know where it is going to be existing. For that reason, it will be 0 angle. Then what is our H is going to be? I divided by 4 pi rho. We don't know where is our alpha 1 and alpha 2. It will be lengthy. For that reason, it will be alpha cos 90 minus of cos 0 1 minus of minus it's going to be, then it will be getting as y by 4 pi rho into a pi. That's for the equation. Then another special case, just remember these will be helping while we are going for the solving of the problems for that reason. That's it. Another special case where it is of infinite length. In some of the question per what they asked, write the expression for magnetic field intensity for the semi-infinite or infinite length or straight line conductors. Somewhat extended the question instead of directly asking as a Biot-Savart's law, determine what it is state or anything. Just they taken one part for the straight line, how it is going to be our magnetic field intensity. Then you have to go with the same Biot-Savart's law only. Then for second special case is of what? Infinite length if I take, then point in the point A is at the minus infinity and B is at the, again it will be like infinite length. It is just an assumption, not it in a practical ways. That's it. Then alpha 1 is going to be 180 degree and alpha 2 is going to be 0 degree. Then our H is going to be I divided by 2 pi rho into a pi. If you just substitute for the angles, you will be getting up the same. Which is going to be I divided by 2 pi rho into a pi. This is just remember for which, for infinite length it is asking, then use this equation, or else in a normal case it is asking, then use this equation. This is about our Biot-Savart's law. Then to find the a pi, what we have to go, it's not that much easy, but simple approach for finding of a pi is, that is going to be AL into A rho, where AL is the vector along the line current, in which path it's given, in which direction it is given, and with the cross product if I go, that is A rho, it is a unit vector along the perpendicular line from the current to the field point. Means what we from field point and where it is the line current is moving, the what's the direction it is going for. That's what we have to do. A pi is going to be AL cross with cross product, this is with the arrow. This is all about our Biot-Savart's law. What it is defining for us, our magnetic field intensity is directly proportional to the current and which element with the differential current is going to be, that is dl into sine alpha divided by the square of the distance between the point and the where the element it is placed, that is about r square. This is our statements of our Biot-Savart's law and a small derivation. It's a simple derivation, just you can remember. It's no different any. Just remember this one more point, that will be enough. This is about our Biot-Savart's law. That is also very important question. Minimum 6 marks. Or else stating of Biot-Savart's law, minimum of 2 to 4 marks. Next, one more small topic about our Ampere circuit law. In a fifth module, we used of this term. I thought that will be easiest one. Fifth module, just a theory, but still we go with okay. That about Ampere circuit law. By using of the Maxwell's equations, what are the persons derived or expressed their own equation based on the Maxwell's equation only. For the reason, for each equation, it will be linking with the Maxwell's equation. What is our Ampere circuit law stating for us? It states that the line integral of magnetic field intensity around a closed path. What we taken, it is of a line surface. It will be, it's not any closed way. Here it will be telling us a closed path is same as the net current, that is I enclosed by the path. H magnetic field intensity is around the closed path is same as the current what is going to be enclosed by that path. Means how much you are getting the magnetic field, how much the current will be flowing, you will be getting the same magnetic field, right? The same thing, it's directly proportional, right? Therefore, based on the Ampere circuit law, what is the equation is going to be, that is a closed integral with line, then h dot di is going to be equals to I into I of enclosed, that enclosed path. Therefore, Ampere's law is similar to Gauss' law, since Ampere's law is easily applied to determine the magnetic field intensity when current distribution is symmetrical. Then, from the equation, it is holds regardless of whether current distribution is symmetrical, but we can use the equation to determine the H only when a symmetrical current distribution exists. Well, this equation, it can be used when a symmetrical means the which path we will be taking should be in a similar. It should be it should not be any bended way. Different how the structures it is different. Based on that, the current distribution will be somewhat varying. But here it should be asymmetrical distribution. That's it. Then Ampere's law is a special case of Biot-Savart's law when it is formed by a derived from the in a later part we will go with. Then by applying the Stokes theorem to the left hand side of the equation here, then I can write here as I enclosed line integral is going to be taking to the surface integral. So Stokes theorem is telling that thing only, volume to the surface, again line to the surface. Therefore, I enclosed is going to be integration of closed integration of L with H into di is going to be integration with surface del cross H, just a changing here, del cross H in with respect to the surface, that is ds. Therefore, I enclosed is going to be, I can write here as, that is about that is the current density equation, integration of surface J into ds. Then comparing of both equation, then I can write here as, that is our del cross H is going to be equals to the how much the current density it is having, that is about J. Then this is the Maxwell's third equation derived, and it is essentially amperes in a differential or in a point form, whereas the equation 7.16, the what one we taken, it is of integral form. This is in terms of point form, and the what we taken in the this equation, it is in terms of a integral form. Then we should observe that del cross H is equals to J, but it should not be equals to 0. Current is not there means magnetic field will not create only for that reason. Then magnetostatic field is not going to be conservative. That's what the meaning here. This are all about our today's topic, that is about Biot-Savart's law and Ampere's law. Questions: Biot-Savart's law or Ampere's law, both questions will be asked for 6 marks, or else Biot-Savart's law for the element in a straight line, a straight conducting element, they may ask any type of question, that is for also 6 marks. When in question paper, what they are asked about Ampere's law, Biot-Savart's law, just you have to state for 4 marks. Okay, we'll stop here.